Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Ben. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're under the hood. We're working on a million different projects, it feels like, all at the same time. What's been happening recently is I've been keeping a to-do list, just sort of a running log of everything that I need to get done on the Troopy, and I feel like every day I wake up and I look at what I can tackle based on parts that have arrived, based on what I'm feeling motivated to do, and manage to check off about half a task and add 4 or 5 others at the same time. Now, currently the task at hand is a cooling system rebuild or refresh, starting with a cooling system teardown. Now this video is going to be sort of just a status update on the Troopy while I get some work done, like this cooling system teardown and refresh, because a lot of exciting things have been going on with the truck and we've been making really good progress, and I've been doing a very bad job of sharing it all. So I want to set the record straight for where we're at as it stands today and give you all a look at what's to come. So the biggest change is definitely up here. We've got the Alucab Hercules and 270-degree awning installed. Come back here. Let's see if I can one-handed do this. Pull the pins. Open up the latches here. Now up there is the real reason why we're in the midst of this engine cooling system teardown, because we had to do a 1,000-mile round-trip drive up to Bend to pick up the Alucab and get it installed, and the water pump decided to blow up on the return leg of that journey, probably thanks to some of the extra weight. We got this ARB front bumper installed at the same time up there, and it was kind of a project that I expected to have to tackle here soon anyway. When I bought the truck, I saw signs of coolant leaking around the thermostat, around the water pump. So I knew it was on its last leg, but I wasn't expecting it to happen while I was on the I-5 heading south. I was prepared for it though. I had extra coolant with me, and I was able to sort of nurse it all the way home. And I will say, tackling a project like this is sort of at the edge of my comfort zone. It's certainly at the edge of my level of depth and comfort with automotive mechanics and working on engines and things like this. I've never been this deep in an engine before in my life. What I'm doing is I've got the 3F field service manual from Toyota. It's floating around online. You can find it on a Google search. I've got that open. I'm reading it and I'm watching YouTube videos from folks working on their 80 series with the 3FE. It's a pretty similar motor. Some content on the 3F here that people have put out there on the internet. And I'm just trying to get in there and replicate what I can and figure out what I have to. Things like getting the drive belts off, things like finding the drain cock on the engine block to actually drain the coolant out of here. Those were all things that I just didn't have a clue at because it was my first time, but luckily YouTube and the internet have come to the rescue. One of the unintentional best upsides of having this ARB front bumper installed has been the ability to climb on it and sit on it while I'm contorting into these positions to work in the engine bay here. And something I've been learning a ton about is just sourcing parts for an old truck like this. I'm becoming very comfortable with Partsook and with calling cruiser outfitters and asking questions and tracking things down. So I've been fortunate to be able to track down an OEM thermostat housing, water pump, all of the OEM hoses and gaskets that I'll need, and replacement radiator. All aluminum 3-fin, should be a drop-in replacement. So I'm super excited about that. Before I get these parts installed, there are a couple of things I want to do. I want to flush the heater core because it's convenient to do while everything's open like this. Flush the engine block, then start buttoning things back up, refilling it with coolant, and making sure I didn't mess anything up or do anything stupid. Now, my to-do list here on the truck still feels incredibly long. So long it can be anxiety-inducing, actually. But I am super happy with the progress that we've been making. I've sort of split the build into a couple of different categories. One was sort of the big ticket items, and I'm happy to say that all of the big ticket items are checked off the list now. That's front and back bumpers, it's suspension, and it's the Alucab Hercules pop top and the 270-degree awning. So just having those checked off the list and feeling good about them has been a huge thing. And now the bulk of the remaining work is really this engine mechanical stuff. I've got a full brake refresh. The rotors, the calipers, I'm gonna do the drums, the shoes. While I'm in there, I'm gonna redo the knuckles. I've got a full stainless steel brake line kit coming. So that's gonna be a big undertaking. I'm gonna redo, the brake booster, the master cylinder. I've got a lot of vacuum line stuff to do. Most of the vacuum line rubber is just absolutely baked and has seen better days. And finally, the biggest thing to make this an expedition rig is going to be the interior work. To build out the electrical system, solar batteries, things like that, the plumbing system, and then the physical build, cabinets, all of that. So yeah, I got my work cut out for me. Like I say, one thing at a time. It's interesting because a situation like the one I find myself in here is sort of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, I've got a to-do list that is already long enough without having to refresh the engine cooling system and replace all these hoses and get a new radiator installed. But on the other hand, this is my chance to build an intimate knowledge of this truck and the systems involved and the way to wrench on them and repair them, the symptoms of when they go wrong, and everything like that, which is the primary factor for picking this specific truck as the base of my expedition vehicle. I wanted to have a simple truck in terms of today's standards that was as mechanical as possible, with good support, with field service manuals and Haynes manuals and a wealth of knowledge that exists online. Because I'm no expert, I'm learning as I'm going here, and so the hope is that when inevitably the same thing happens and I'm on the side of a road somewhere or in the middle of a jungle, I'll have a level of comfort and familiarity to be able to trust in my skills and my ability to get back on the road and to get to safety. So that's sort of the double-edged sword here. On the one hand, I want to take my time and I want to learn as much as I can, and on the other hand, I want to get on the road and I want to start seeing places and I want to start adventuring. So I just need to remind myself to be thankful that I get to do this in the comfort and safety of my driveway, where I can go inside and use the internet and grab a beer after a frustrating day of bolts that are so corroded they just don't want to come out. And it'll pay off. It'll all pay off one day. Let's get this radiator out of here. There's the back side of the radiator. You can sort of start to see all the sludge and corrosion that was in the system. And you can see that the fins here have seen some better days, some impacts from the fan breaking or who knows, road debris. There's the front side. Must have driven through a colony of bees at some point. But this is going to get replaced with a fully aluminum 3-fin version that will, fingers crossed, work well for us. Well, now we are up here hanging out in the Alucab. This little bench seat at the back of it has quickly become one of my favorite places to hang out. We've got the bed up, and you can tell the interior is in a state of chaos. I've got the seats out because we're fitting up the new ones. I've got boxes of parts, new fan clutch. There's the water pump, there's the brake booster. So just lots of stuff going on here. But this little bench in the back here is quickly becoming one of my just favorite places to hang out. One thing that's been tough about making progress here on the build has been a couple of weeks ago. I completely threw my back out, picking up Bandit, getting him into the Forerunner, something you do multiple times a day without even thinking about it. I got complacent and I did it wrong once, and once was all it took to really lay me up for a while. Thankfully though, I've been able to rely on some friends for some help here. So the rear bumper from Cruiser Outfitters and the suspension from Dobinson's were both installs that my buddy Mark did for me in the South Bay. If you're in the Bay Area, he does the absolute cleanest Toyota suspension installs, all makes and models. I'll leave some info for him below. You've got to hit him up. He is great at what he does, and he really helped me out here. And with this trip to Bend, I went up to Fit Garage, and Alex and his crew up there were more than accommodating. They really treated me like a friend, not just some guy off the street. I got to hang out, I got to learn from them while they did the Alucab install and hooked me up with the ARB bumper as well. And I got to tell you, just being surrounded by folks that are so knowledgeable and being surrounded by so many just absolutely awesome builds that they're working on was a huge inspiration for me. And I came out of it with a lot of ideas and a lot of good knowledge for the projects that I still need to tackle here. So I'm feeling better. The back is almost at 100% now. I can contort and wrench on things in the engine bay without too much pain. And that means we're full steam ahead. So every day now is just about doing things on the to-do list and making progress. So that's where we're at. The Troopy's in good shape. We've got the big ticket items all accomplished, and now it's core engine mechanical and core chassis mechanical, powertrain, and interior build. And I think we're about to start making some really rapid progress. So that's a quick little update. Thanks for being here. Thanks for following along. And until next time, get out and explore somewhere.